Hello, Alexer, welcome back. Now, what if we told you that what you see around you and what you're doing right now is not actually real? And no, okay, this isn't a Vsauce video, but more of an interesting way to see life. A way that, well, it might just help you to navigate this weird thing we call being alive. And this could actually make you reconsider how to live your life. So let's dive in, shall we? Welcome to Alux. So as we get older, we realize there are only two things that we can do, one of which you don't really have a choice but to participate in. You could think of it like two types of games. One where you're forced to play, and the other one that you choose to play. The first game you're forced to play is something every living being on Earth must participate in if they want to, well, keep being alive. It's called the game of being alive, and it has a couple of very simple yet mandatory rules. Find food, find water, get shelter, and have some rest. As long as you follow these 4 rules, you have won the game of being alive. They actually sit at the very base of the pyramid of needs. And this isn't really something that you can opt out of. The moment someone brought you into this world, congratulations, you now have to play the game. And since we are complicated human beings, living in a complicated world, these 4 basic needs can take up pretty much all of your time. And here's the interesting thing. After these 4 basic needs are met, everything you do on top of that is part of the game you choose to play. Nobody is forcing you to play it, and nobody expects you to participate in it. This is the second game that we're talking about. It can take up various forms, and it can go into a million different directions. Some people choose to play the game of career advancement. Some choose to play the game of entertaining other people. Some choose to play the game of entrepreneurship. Others, well, they play the game of building and raising a family. The bag is full of things to choose from. And here's the thing, okay? Whenever you feel stressed out, anxious, or burned out, it's usually because this second game gets harder or more intricate. Which brings us to 2 questions that we believe everyone should ask themselves eventually. 1, what game are you playing? And 2, what does winning look like? Alright, so let's expand on each of these. First of all, we believe it's pretty important to realize that you, right now, are playing a game nobody asked you to play. You could say that society forced you to play this role, or things that you want require you to play the game, but at the end of the day, it was your choice. Nobody forced you to shape your life the way it looks right now. So ask yourself, what game are you actually playing right now? Because if you're at the point where you have access to a device and an internet connection, well, it means that you've won the just being alive game already. And if you think you don't actually play any games, well, my friend, you're wrong. It just means that you're playing the role of John Doe, unnamed character just walking through life, taking things as they come, not worrying too much about any major problem. And there are millions of people who think they're not playing any games, but deep down, if you really take a close look, you'll find fragments of games that you're kinda participating in. You're a reliable friend to your close circle. You're a mentor in your work circle. You're the life of the party. You're unreachable. You're lonely. You're broke. All of these things are parts of the game that you think you're not playing. And once you realize that you're actually making this choice and playing an actual game, things become way clearer, at least from our perspective. So ask yourself, what game are you playing? Is it the I'm just minding my own business and hoping for the best game? Is it the I hope I get promoted this year game? Or maybe the I want to live in a penthouse game? When you have a clear idea of the game you're playing, and when you actively decide to play it, things don't bother you that much anymore, and you have a totally different perspective. For example, let's say you play the entrepreneurship game. Well, the general rules are pretty well known. It's a lot of hard work, most things fail, and you would need to have a lot of patience. So when you do end up facing these situations, you know that they're just the rules of the game you chose to play, not something that's happening specifically to you. Your demeanor changes, the way you handle things changes. If you end up failing, that's not a tragedy, but a very possible way the game could end. You're disconnected from it. It doesn't bring you down mentally because, well, that's how the game is, and every game is kind of like this. And this realization helps you to make the decision of which games you choose to play because, you see, not every game is worth playing. Which brings us to the second question we think everyone should ask themselves. What does winning the game look like? Because when you ask yourself this question, two things will happen. One, you immediately get transported 10 to 20 years into the future, and for those who've never thought about things this long term, well, this might hit you like a brick wall. And two, it forces you to come to terms with what you're actually feeling about the game you're playing. Because if you think of how winning the game looks and your first reaction is, ugh, well, you might be playing the wrong game entirely, my friend. It's kind of like when you flip a coin in the air and you realize what you wish it would land on before it actually lands. So what does winning this game look like? You could even answer in the comments to make it really real if you're courageous enough. For the entrepreneurship game, the answer is simple: financial freedom. For the family person, winning the game means having a happy, healthy, and loving family to do cool things with. But for some games, winning can mean burnout, losing friendships, or loneliness. It could mean chasing dead ends, becoming something you're not, and losing yourself in the process, or having an empty life void of passions and beauty. You have to ask yourself, how would your life look like if you managed to win the game that you're playing? You might find out you're actually playing the wrong game right now. Maybe this career you chose is not for you. Maybe at the end of the path you're walking, it isn't something you're particularly interested in. Or maybe you find yourself playing the perfect game designed just for you, something you enjoy playing and you envision the life that sits at the end of it. You see, Aluxer, all life is just a series of mini games that you choose to play after you're done with the basic one. Some have bigger rewards, some have no reward at all. Some games make you a better person, while others make you bitter, impatient, and pessimistic. Some games make you financially free, while others make you forever broke. It's extremely important to be mindful of the games you choose to play because, well, look, okay, you don't have time for too many of them. Choosing not to play any game is a game in and of itself, so you might as well play something you enjoy. We know this is a much deeper subject, and not everyone's going to relate to this, but for those of you who do, we hope you found a new way of seeing things here today. And of course, as a thank you for sticking with us until the end, we've got a bonus for you. This is a quote from Tim Ferriss, and we found it really fitting for this topic. All right, so you're ready for this? Life punishes the vague wish and rewards the specific ask. You see, the more specific and intentional you are with the game you're playing, the higher the chance you will win it. That's just how it is. Life doesn't reward those who sit around waiting for a brick to come flying through the window with a secret code written on it. It doesn't work that way. You know it doesn't work that way. Even more so, if you're undecided, not only will you not get any rewards, but you might actually get punished. If you don't ask for what you want, people will never give you what you think you deserve. And that right there is just not a game worth playing.